Well, I guess at this point, it ain't nothing else to do but just go ahead and do it. So, if you don't have an open mind, turn it off. If you don't think logically and reasonable, turn it off. What I'm about to tell you is what I found out so far. And take it or leave it. But I ain't famous yet, so like I said, I ain't really worried about what's gonna happen to me. But let's go. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to try to explain what's going on here in this world that nobody sees, or that people do see, but it's just not clicking yet because they're looking at it from, you know, different perspectives, but haven't put all the pieces together yet. So what I'm going to try to do is just put these pieces together for y'all so that if you are onto something, you can continue that path, or shit, y'all can help me figure the rest of this shit out, maybe. But okay, so let's start with trying to answer the first important question in order to find out what the fuck is going on here. What the fuck is this place? What the fuck are we and how the fuck did we get here? This is gonna be the longest part to explain because it's the part that is most important for people to understand before we even can get to what's going on Earth. First, we got to figure out what the fuck is everything in the first place. So, when we try to figure out who we are and what we are and how we got here, most of our lives we get this information from two places: the religious beliefs, and then you got those people who aren't religious, which is the atheists, and they believe the science. So there's this gap, this divide between religion and science. So we're gonna have to bridge that gap first before we can move on. So what the religious people believe is there was a creator, a God, and then the atheists they believe that there's a it was the Big Bang or whatever. So wouldn't it be logically safe to say that if both of them are right and both of them are wrong, couldn't we just for the argument's sake, say that when God said, "Let there be light," and the Big Bang was the same exact thing at the same exact time? Can we just make them equal? Can we just say that the Big Bang is God saying, "Let there be light"? Can we just do that for now? Okay. So now that we can include everybody, that no matter what your belief is, now we can all understand that, okay, so we something created something. We got here some way, okay? Whether it was from the Big Bang or God created us. But what is it really? I really hate when people like choose specific words for things because it gets taken so literally. Like we have to realize everything, everything on this planet in this physical illusion is represented by a number. Our brain interprets that number as the thing that we see it as. Okay? A phone has a specific number, but it's made of a whole bunch of numbers put together, different frequency patterns and wave functions. Okay? So we see it as a whole cell phone, but really it's just numbers. So if that's the case, how do we explain the Big Bang or God saying let there be light? How do we explain the beginning of time? Well, in order to explain the beginning of time, you got to start from the beginning. So what number could we use to start from the beginning? The only number I can think of is zero. Nothing. When you start something, it has to start from nothing. You have to start from zero. Nothingness. Dark. No, not dark, but complete void. Nothing. Just nothing. Okay? Now, what I want to show you is nothing can be anything. Okay? Um, Zero equals negative infinity plus infinity. Zero is the representation of all numbers from negative to positive ever. That means that those numbers are contained inside of zero. Is what makes up the number zero. The number zero is made up of all numbers possible. So that means negative and positive, which means if we turned things into energy, numbers into energy, they can be represented as negative energies and positive energies. Now this concept of good and evil can be seen or thought of. But let's get into to what you are. Okay. So what I got here is a picture of the mind. Now this is a symbol I drew just so y'all can get the understanding of what the fuck going on here. Inside this zero are the infinite potentials of all frequency patterns that we can possibly make with our minds. Okay? You are the circle. What you can become is inside the circle. Now, when you flip this around, that little circle that was on the other side would represent you as a mind. On this side, those individual circles are still you. It's all of us now. All of us together have the potential to produce any unlimited potential of frequency patterns, but as together as a whole, that makes it even more powerful. So as a whole, the big circle is actually God, but that's what we call God. Everybody thinking that this God is outside of us. It's not really outside of us. It is us when we're all combined together as one. Now, if you read the Bible in the beginning, where it was speaking a different language, Elohim or whatever, well, I don't even remember what the fuck it is, but the translation was there were many gods. So the whole idea that there was just one God, you know, I really don't know where that came from. But even in in pretty much all the religions that I've when I came across, like there was more than one God. Like bro, there was multiple gods, and we are those multiple gods. But together we will be what everyone thinks God is. But like I said, those are just words. These are just words and representations. A mind creates using thought. Okay, so let's get deeper into this. So we got God, and let there be light equaling the same thing. Now, light is a wave, a number, and a frequency pattern just as well. Okay, now I drew this up for you guys just so you can see as I'm going to explain this. Zero is equal to negative infinity and infinity, but also zero is equal to zero plus zero plus zero plus zero plus zero. So if there is one mind that can produce unlimited frequency patterns, then I'm pretty sure that this equation proves that there can be multiple minds that do the same thing. Okay? Now, at this bottom part, I really need y'all to understand that this equation represents a lot of shit, and I really just need y'all to get it. because everything is just represented by a number. All these words that we use they all are numbers and frequencies too. Sound is nothing but a wave. Like all this, y'all gotta get this. Y'all got to get this. So the zero would be the God you, the non-physical you. This is where heaven is the afterlife. This is the stuff that you. This is the part you're experiencing when you're dreaming. This is what we call God. This is the non-physical side. Okay, that this is where you go when you die. This is where you go when you sleep. This is the zero side. But the zero side is the same exact thing as the other side. Now the other side is just a physical representation of what's going on mentally on the zero side, because on the zero side it's nothing but a mental space. It's non-physical. So everything that's going on the zero side, as far as thoughts and all that, these are where our minds really are. We are on this side, but we're seeing it from this side, from the other side of the equal equation. We're inside of these parentheses as some fucking number, and in the world of infinite numbers, we represent only one of those numbers on the other side. So we're practically nothing in a vast universe from the other side. But on this side, this represents hell. This is the physical side. When you die and you come and you go to hell, you're reincarnating back here. Okay. Now, how do we get from zero, from one side of the equation to the other? When that happens, that's called thought turning into matter. That's when what we call manifestations. How we turn our thoughts into reality. How that actually happens on a mathematical level is called a Fourier transform. Y'all can go look that up and figure that out on your own. So, now that we understand that creation created itself, how? Let me show you. Okay, let's turn this into a real logical story now, so that we can make these things make sense. If you wanted to get to know yourself or see yourself, let's say you just got here on earth, you don't know what you look like, you don't know anything about yourself, the first thing you're going to do is need a mirror, right? You need a mirror to reflect upon yourself so you can be able to see what you need to look at. God, zero, did the same thing when it created this reality. It needed a mirror to see itself, to reflect itself upon. Okay, so it created this physical domain that it can enter itself into. As minds and as gods, we can enter into this domain. Now, the thing about being able to enter into this domain is that there's two parts. Now, I don't know if we just somehow forgot how to stay on the other side, but the issue that's happening is that when we were first brought here and we linked to different animals, different plants and stuff like that at first, because at first, we created waters, plants, all the stuff that was created by God in the Bible. That was really us doing that. But when we did that unconsciously, like we do when we dream, and when we go to sleep and you dream, you unconsciously produce a whole fucking world. Why would anybody not logically conclude that that same thing happened on the other side of the equation, but all of us did it at the same time? Because it's frequency patterns of all of our minds. Same way when you go to sleep, we did it together as a whole from the other side of the equation, from the zero side of the equation. So when we link to the other side and we enter the physical domain, at this point we're a human now. So all these animals are on Earth. Humans are on Earth now. Now, this is where this shit gets really, really serious, and it gets really, 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 really deep, okay? The brain, I explained to you before, is a filtering mechanism. So when you come from the zero side, which is the all-knowing, all thoughts are on that side. Everything that's mental is on that side. Everything you could think of, ever thought of, that can be thought of, is on the zero side. it is manifested on the other side, which is the illusion, because we think that we're here. We're not really here. We're on the other side, but we're viewing it from the other side. If that makes sense, we're on the zero side, but we view reality from the other side of the equal sign, which is the physical world side. So, all right, let's get deep, deep, deep. So when you link to the brain, and this filters out all the information that you already know. When we come here to live certain lives and walk certain paths, to get certain things done so that we can elevate, evolve, and learn. Now, that's what we came here to do. I think that's what we came here to do as we think. But the more I've learned this shit, I'm starting to figure out that's not really what we're here for. We are here to learn and grow and optimize, but like I said about the Gnostics and the Christianity part before, the Gnostics knew that this world was a deception. They knew that this is not the place you wanted to be. They knew that we don't want to be on the physical reality side. They want to stay on the other side, which is the zero side. They don't want to keep coming back and forth. They just wanted to stay on the other side. So Christians cling to, well, I'm not gonna say the Christians cling to it. What really happened was the Gnostics found out what the Egyptians found out. Okay, now the Egyptians were the first black people. They were the first gods on this fucking planet. Okay, that's how the pyramids and shit got here. They had god-like abilities, bro. When we left from the zero side and came to the infinity side, we came with our god abilities. Okay, we came with our god abilities. The melanin in the skin is the key to this door called heaven, that's how you get to the other side. Okay, the melanin is on the other. You got to have the melanin in your skin to be able to get on the other side. This shit is deep. You need to have two things in order to get to the other side and stay on the other side. You need a specific genetic DNA, which you get from the physical side, which is here, which is the melanin. Then you have to have the spiritual DNA. Now, the spiritual DNA is different because the spiritual DNA consists of, it's just your frequency pattern as a mind. Now, you develop your frequency pattern over a lifetime. So all the information that you learn and you how optimized you become through your past lives ends up creating your DNA that you have as a spirit each time you go into the afterlife. So the stronger your DNA is, and then also the stronger your willpower and imagination is when you get to the other side when you die, the stronger your ability to navigate the pathway to not come back. Now, I'm not about to go into all that because that's in all the religious texts. It's explained in different ways with Horus, Set, and I ain't got time for all that. Y'all can do that research. I'm just giving y'all the basic stuff of what I know because you got to learn a lot to know this shit. I'm just trying to give it to y'all the simplest way. So, where I leave off at. So, the spiritual DNA. So, basically, you need that. Okay, so if you know you need the melanin, you need to be black. If you have not been black, you cannot get into heaven. That's weird. I don't know why it's like that, but this is what I know. This is what I learned. This is the way it is. If you're not black, you can't go to heaven. So that all that stuff about the black people are the true chosen people, I guess they was probably right. Okay, because that's what I've learned. That's what I ended up finding out to be true. Black people are the only ones who can go to heaven. Well, not black people only, but you have to have melanin in your skin. So everyone who's not white, basically, Asians and all of them, all those people who have some black in them, they cool. They got the keys to the door. White people don't. And that's the fucked up part. And that's why we're here. And this is when it gets big. And this is when it gets serious. The Egyptians found out first how to go back and forth. Okay? But white people couldn't stop reincarnating. They could not stop reincarnating. They kept coming back, kept coming back, kept coming back, kept coming back. So the story of good and evil starts here. It's not between the real God and the real devil. This is all symbolic. It started when the white man decided to say, hey, we can't get the fuck out of this damn place. Only the black people can. Why? We need to figure this fucking shit out. So they went and stole the information that the Egyptians had gave us. They stole our information from us and then they hid it from us and they put it into a code. The information was on how to die, how to stop reincarnating, and how to become a god to where you don't have to be a human on earth anymore. That was the secret. That is the truth. That's what's being hidden from us. How to fucking die and get off this damn planet. Now, because they can't leave, I had to do some more studying to figure out, is it even possible for them to leave? Now, I come to find out that there's only one. Now, I don't know if it's 100% true, but remember, this is all the information that I've learned so far. I'm just putting the pieces together. And I want y'all to take the information and decide what you want to do with it. Wait, let me catch my thought again. Where am I at? Okay, I think I was with the Egyptians, right? Okay, the white man stole it and put it in the coat. And then, oh yeah, they can't get the fuck out. So I wanted to find out if they was even possible to get the fuck out. So what I come to find out was that, I'm just going to say it like this, because I don't know if it's true. In order for a white man to get into heaven, he has to reincarnate as a black man. In order for a white man to stay on the zero side or be able to get to the zero side, he has to come back as a black man, because they don't have the genetic DNA. They don't have that DNA. Their body and genetic is made up of other shit. It's made up of animals and all this other shit. Like, we got some of that shit too, but we are the only ones who have that God essence that came from the other side for some reason. I don't know why the white people don't have it. I don't know that shit. I haven't figured that part out yet. I'm gonna figure it out one day. But all I know is this is a mental war because white people cannot stop reincarnating. Black people have the keys to the door, but they stole the information on how to get to the motherfucking door. We don't know how to navigate once we die. Once we die, it's like a dream state. The same way you are when you're dreaming, it's the same. That's the same thing that's going on when you're dead. Okay, you're in a dream-like state, and depending upon how conscious you are, like if you was able to lucid dream, do astral projections, and you did a lot of meditations and shit, like while you was a human, and you did a lot of mental work. When you die, that mental work is strong, so you are able to consciously be aware of, okay, this is where I'm at. I'm here. I'm dead. All right, I need to go this way instead of going this way, because this way leads back into reincarnation, but this way leads back to the higher dimensional planes. So we didn't know. So they took the information from us. So now when we do come back here, now the world has been very, 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 very populated with white people, because they don't leave. They keep producing more children, but they don't really get to not come back. They got to keep coming back. And since they keep coming back, and they have to keep coming back, that's where the generational wealth part comes in. But all of this is just a fucking game. They cannot leave this place unless they come back as a nigga. And they cannot even come back as a nigga unless, this is the other part that I found out, they cannot come back and reincarnate as a nigga unless they was loved by a nigga in a previous life. So with all that being said, now it's starting to make sense to me why the world is the way that it is. Why they created religion. Why they put it in a cult and then told you that everything that you needed to know are all the things that are banned from you from knowing. And it is against the Bible. It's against all religions. It's against sin. Necromancy is the ability to, I guess they say, talk to the dead, or it's like witchcraft and all that. Ain't that shit banned? But did you know that necromancy is one of the most number one things that you have to do in order to be mentally able to deal with the other side? Like, there are things that we have to do on this planet as far as learning shit that we can't do because they found out that they can't get the fuck on without us. So in order for them to get the fuck on, they need our help. So what do? They suppress our minds to keep us here so that we can't leave. So now we are constantly reincarnating back here. Now, this is where it gets a little bit deeper as well. They need us so much, bro, that the information that they stole from us, they've been had it. They've been had it years for years. Then they start throwing a little bit of the information, a little bit of the truth out us at a little bit at a time, through movies, through TV shows, sometimes through music and all these, and then some books or whatever. But they throw the truth at you little bit by little. But when they throw the truth, it's accompanied with a whole bunch of lies that go with it. So it's not hard. So it's hard for people to see. Okay, well, okay, that is true. That makes sense. But it'll wake you up. They put it in front of you subconsciously to trigger something in your brain. Now the black people starting to see it. Oh, now they claiming that they're woke because now they're knowing things, they're learning things. Look, bro, you're not learning shit. They're just telling you what we already been knew. We been knew this shit already. They just stole the shit from us. Now they giving it out to us little bit by little, making us think that we're becoming smarter and we're becoming more conscious and we're waking up. No, we're not, nigga. They just giving y'all the information slowly and slowly because the more you wake up a little bit, the more you help them figure out what they need. Why do you think all these rich people that are black are up there with them white people? Why do you think they up there? You think that them white people actually give a fuck about them black people? No, they're using them. They need them. All rich people go through the same process, bro. I'm gonna just keep it real and 100. Once you get rich and then you've done it all, there's only one thing left to do. Spend that money on the truth. We're already alive. I've already accomplished my dreams. What else is there for me to do? Well, I do gotta die. Well, is there any information on dying? Oh, only the rich people have access to this information. Oh, then they buy the information and they learn and then they find out the truth. And guess what happens when they find out the fucking truth? They start trying to tell us. Oh, guess who all try to tell us? Pac, Nip, CB, Prince, Jackson, all these rich people who made it up there. Now the white people saying, oh, okay, we got these black people. We're gonna tell this one the truth because they fuck with us. These black people fuck with us. They love us now. So if we can tell them the truth, maybe they'll let us. Maybe they'll love us to help to let us so we can come back and reincarnate as them, and then we can live our life as a black person, and then we'll have the melanin in our DNA, and then now we can stay on the other side too. Bro, this is all about trying to get into heaven, but it's not really heaven, but it's really about trying to stay off earth, stay out of the physical reality, and stay on the true side where we actually came from. White people can't go on that side because they're not originally from there. They don't have the God essence. That God essence is the melanin, and that shit is crazy. Maybe I'm tripping. But it all makes sense to me. So, you know, all this stuff with the election. Like, let me tell you something. So let me tell you another secret. For all y'all who know I trade Forex, when I got good at it, it wasn't because I learned how to trade like everybody else. It wasn't because it was because of this shit. I got good at trading because of this shit. Because I started to see the bigger picture of what the fuck going on in this world. It's a money game. Now, on the physical side of the equation, which is the infinity side, this is a money game now. This is all about, well, it's not a money game, it's a mind game. But they use the money to control everything. They give you, they put the money as a distraction. They created a system of money for this main purpose. Put our minds down, get us focused on survival, eating, having enough money to pay this bill, that bill, distract you with music, movies, racism, violence. All this stuff is a distraction in disguise so that y'all never figure this shit out. It's just a distraction so that y'all never figure out the truth. You are the truth. You got the keys to get the fuck out of this place. But you're not gonna get out until you go learn how to fucking get out. We all gotta learn how to fucking get out. They got the secrets. They got the answers. The rich people can buy it. We can't. We can't buy the information. We gotta go find it. It's out there though, because everything is coming out now. Everything's being leaked. Information is being coming out, and they can't hide it from us for too long because they need to give it. They need to give it to us. But look at the world. People don't even care to vote no more. It's getting bad. The government ain't about to last, bro. People are waking up, and our power is about to come back. We about to get rid of all of them, and it's coming.